The public outcry against Battlefield 2042 has reached new heights, if not in terms of severity, then at the very least in terms of formality, as there is now a petition on change.org making the rounds that as of recording has reached over 17,000 signatures on the road towards a 25K goal, calling for the availability of refunds for all players who have purchased Battlefield 2042 across all platforms. This is of course far from the first, and I'd imagine far from the last story we're going to be seeing in the ongoing saga that is dealing with the public backlash to Battlefield 2042, but it's another bump in the road, so let's once again take a closer look at what we have in store. The petition, officially titled Allow Refund for Battlefield 2042 on All Platforms, continues to gain traction amid the swarm of controversies that I'm sure I don't have to remind you of if you've been following this channel or really any others reporting on the esports industry or gaming in general. It starts off pretty stern. EA's release of Battlefield 2042 was a mockery of every customer who purchased this video game for $70 USD. Due to EA's false advertising. Battlefield 2042 has cost customers millions of dollars in damages and upset thousands of customers worldwide. The petition author, Satoshi Nakamoto, whom I have a sneaking suspicion is using a pseudonym, goes on to make some claims that Esports Talk fans will find familiar. Satoshi states that EA and DICE didn't keep many of the promises made at launch, and if you saw the last video on this channel about the matter, you'll remember that it was mentioned on an investor's call that the game failed to meet sales expectations. Whether or not one could interpret that as an admission of flaws or faults in the game on EA's part or DICE's part is a little bit debatable, but certainly EA is well aware that this game is not hitting well with the fans. The petition continues with more of what anyone who's seen articles or tweets about the games has heard regarding just how bad the bugs are. And taking even a quick glance at what happens when you type Battlefield 2042 glitches onto YouTube, it's hard to argue that point.
One of our objectives has been targeted.
This is open paid beta. Yes, you are correct, bro.
Satoshi also states that Battlefield 2042 was so poorly made that even Steam, a highly reputable provider of PC video games, allows customers to get a full refund. Now this is unfortunately something I have to say should be taken with a grain of salt, because as far as I could tell looking into the matter, this is in relation to a Reddit post by a user named Robosurg, who had a dialogue back and forth with Steam support and did manage to convince them to give him a full refund, despite the fact that his claim fell outside of their usual limitations for getting a refund. Normally, you have to submit a refund request within 14 days of purchase and have to have less than 2 hours of playtime. Robosurg explains here in this image you can see that they spent most of their time adjusting settings and dealing with bugs, so they didn't actually get to play for 2 hours, let alone the 4 that they had on record. And apparently Steam support found this argument acceptable. That's a good thing. While it's encouraging to see Steam support give this guy his refund and take his story into account, it's not at all clear at this point whether or not other people are getting this same benefit. It does not appear to be a universal policy. In fact, the frequency of articles I see titled things like "Here's how to get your Steam refund" with suggestions like "Try an alternative method, don't outright say that you're just trying to get a refund on a game, put something else in the submit ticket," gives me the impression that it's not the case that everybody's going to have as easy a time. At the very least, you're going to have to go through similar channels and try to negotiate things through. Satoshi closes by saying, "Signing this petition is the equivalent of saying, I wish I got a refund on this game. Please sign this petition if you feel you deserve a refund for Battlefield 2042. Suppose this petition receives 50K signatures or more. In that case, one of the best class action lawsuit lawyers in the country is willing to take our case against EA. The gaming community should not tolerate this abuse and bullying from multi-billion-dollar corporations who make unfinished games and false advertisements." And whether that statement about the lawyer is accurate or not, I cannot confirm at all. Frequent feature of the channel, Tom Henderson, shined a light on the petition, stating, "I'm really surprised this disaster hasn't been picked up by more outlets, to be honest." And hey, much to the surprise of everyone, myself included, I'm running an outlet, so, well, here you go. He does clarify in a follow-up though that he doesn't expect this to actually get anyone a refund, but that it might generate enough headlines to create the added pressure needed for something to possibly happen. It won't be the petition in Tom's eyes that does anything, but we've seen petitions lead to articles, and articles lead to fuel to the fire that is already burning that then leads possibly to some real change. For now, with no official response from EA or DICE, all we can do is wait and see what happens, whether or not there's going to be a break in the story from EA or DICE's side, whether or not this petition or any other backlash movements will continue to gain traction, or whether or not DICE will successfully get Battlefield 2042 into such a state that fans no longer feel like they've been shortchanged. One way or another, you and the public out there can not only sign petitions, you can drop a comment down below and let me know what you folks think. How upset are you at Battlefield 2042? Upset enough that you're hoping this petition go somewhere? Do you think it will? Do you think that this is going to be enough that EA or DICE will actually, care enough to do something about it, whether that's a full refund or something else to try and get back to the community that is currently feeling pretty scorned? One way or another, let me know, and I will let you know as soon as there are any updates in this regarding Battlefield, regarding any other games like it, and of course, esports in general. Until then, folks, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching once again. And so as always, have yourselves a beautiful, wonderful day.